This is a WDIO News special report.
Good afternoon. I'm Renee Pasal. President Biden and Air Force One just touched down in Duluth a few moments ago. We're going to go to some live video from the Duluth International Airport where the plane is there taxiing. As you can see, a clear and bright day on March 2nd, 2022. The plane again left from D.C. this morning. Just a day after, less than a day after the president delivered his State of the Union address, which was an hour and 2 minutes long. And then in the next couple of hours, he will be speaking again here in the Northland at UW Superior at the Yellow Jacket Union. This event is not open to the public, but we will be streaming the entirety. Our reporter, Mary McCarr, is over there now getting ready. So again, the plane touched down just a few moments ago and is taxiing closer to the main area where people will deplane. Now you might remember that Biden was here in September of 2020. He was on the campaign trail at the time. He spoke at the Carpenters Training Institute in Hermantown. And of course, during COVID, we all had spaced out areas we could be and we were wearing masks. At the time, he acknowledged the mining region here in Minnesota, saying, "We helped build America." Now that same day, back in September of 2020, President Trump was in Bemidji, so Minnesota was on the radar, definitely that day. Back to Biden, in 2020, he also stopped down in Canal Park. He met with Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Emily Larson. He also met some people just hanging out down there. Governor Walz and his wife Gwen are expected to be with the Biden group today in Superior. There's the plane kind of turning about there. Now, the president also visited the Twin Cities back in November of this year. He met with students at Dakota County Technical College to promote his infrastructure bill, which he signed earlier in November. And there was the front of Air Force One taxiing up. The president was also in La Crosse in June of last year. And then over the years, he has made numerous stops to the Northland as vice president. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden has been here before as well on the campaign trail. She was at the Labor Union in Duluth in 2012. I remember there was pizza. I feel like there was some pizza event and she was holding some boxes at some point. So again, Dr. Jill Biden has been here as well. We have heard from his deputy press secretary that the president will be visiting the Blatnick Bridge on his way over to UW Superior. Now, as we reported, the 1961 structure is slated for a multi-year replacement project. I don't know about you guys, but I take the Blatnick Bridge a lot. That's the one I'm most familiar with and use most frequently. So a replacement project will be a very big deal. I mean, obviously you can still take the Bong Bridge, but the Blatnick Bridge is a very important one. Other topics to be covered on this visit here to the Northland include the St. Louis River and port infrastructure. And taking you back again to the State of the Union address from last night, an hour and 2 minutes. One of the things he discussed was his unity agenda towards the end of the speech and 4 things that can be accomplished together. One of them was opioids and kind of focusing on how to help people who are addicted to opioids. The second one was mental health. The third was veterans and focus on veterans, especially those impacted by the burn pits. Now, as the Air Force One just touched down in Duluth, they are close to the 148th Fighter Wing, and there are many veterans and still people, members of the 148th, who deployed over to Iraq and Afghanistan who did have exposure to those burn pits. And the fourth thing on his unity agenda was ending cancer the way we know it, as it has touched so many of our lives. Now you can see that there are definitely more Secret Service standing outside of the plane. One of the doors there is open, but they need to move the staircase over, getting ready for the President and First Lady to arrive. Perhaps there will be others from the Northland or from Minnesota and Wisconsin on board. We're not sure. We'll have to see how many people get off the plane. And usually in the past, I've seen the staff and others, the press, they get off in a different section of the plane. But our camera, of course, will be trained here on the front door. A reminder, he is going to be speaking at UW Superior in a couple of hours after he tours the Blatnick Bridge, which a tour of a bridge is not really a tour, but as he'll get to look at it and probably understand a little more about the need to replace the structure, again built in 1961. The focus of his speech today at UW Superior will be his infrastructure bill. And many people here in the Northland are looking forward to what that means. You know, when the actual dollars arrive isn't certain, but a lot of projects in the pipeline are especially excited because they will stand the greatest chance of receiving the money. We have a couple of big infrastructure projects underway right now, including the Twin Ports Interchange, which is likely he'll get to see some of that as well, he and the First Lady, as they make their way down from the airport and tour the Blatnick Bridge and then head over to Superior. So we do have a lot of infrastructure projects in the Northland. Contractors are looking forward to what that could mean for them. The mining industry is looking forward to the demand for steel. So definitely people will be interested in what he has to say here. And I'm sure people are hoping for more local comments related to the Northland. And we're just waiting for the President and the First Lady to arrive in the bright sun. Warmed up a little bit out there in the 20s. Now it snowed a tiny bit this morning, but it looks like that is all gone, and clear skies. A good day to see the Twin Ports and see everything that we really enjoy here in the Northland. Back to the veterans in the burn pits. One of the things I thought that was interesting that he mentioned yesterday is they were expanding eligibility for 9 respiratory cancers for those who are suffering from those, and that the VA is pioneering new ways of linking toxic exposure to diseases. And when people serve our country, they do not expect to be exposed to these toxins and have to deal with that so much later after their deployments. So I'm sure our airmen and women who heard that felt like he was talking to them. He also said he is hopeful they can pass a law to make sure vets get the benefits and health care they need if they are impacted by the burn pits. I know some of our lawmakers have been aboard Air Force One, traveling with then President Trump. I've seen some pictures, so I'm wondering what it's like when you actually get off Air Force One. There's an order if there's certain people who go first, likely the president, and then who gets to go second, and so we'll see. Again, his first visit with the First Lady since being elected in 2020. We've lived through the pandemic, so probably not as many visits as he had hoped across the country. But here he is, the day after the State of the Union in the Northland, ready to address infrastructure in Superior. Now, if you're watching this and you have plans to go anywhere in the area where they might be traveling from the airport, be ready for road closures and waiting your turn, because usually they block things off for the president pretty clearly so he can get to where he needs to go. And I'm sure our law enforcement agencies are working together to make sure that happens. When he was here in 2012, I believe, speaking in the Superior Middle School, it was funny because we were in there and we thought we could go live right away when he was done speaking outside the school, but they don't let you leave the building until he is, of course, clear. So another reporter and I, Lori Stribling, we were inside the Superior Middle School for a little bit, waiting till he left. And I'm sure our producers back here at the station were thinking, where are you? You need to get outside. These are just things you learn when you cover a president. And I'm sure the same will go over at the Yellow Jacket Union. People will not be able to come and go until he is clear. Our crew's set up early, so there could be security sweeps of camera gear and the like. So the plane has been down for probably about 20 minutes or so. So he was maybe even a little ahead of schedule, or at least on time. Scheduled to land about 12:15. So made up some good time in the air after leaving the DC area this morning. Again, he will be making a stop to see the Vlatnik Bridge and then head over to UW Superior to speak at the Yellow Jacket Union. It was a late night in Washington as the State of the Union wrapped up close to 10 o'clock, and then the president spent quite a bit of time in the chamber talking to different lawmakers and friends. One of the first people he hugged, according to the camera crew that was following him after the speech, was Senator Amy Klobuchar. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if I saw her come off the plane, but we will see. Sometimes lawmakers travel with the president or the vice president. And the last time he was here was September of 2020 here in the Northland. On the campaign trail is then candidate Biden, speaking in Hermantown. But today he will be speaking as president. There's going to be some Republican comments from Congressman Stauber and Congressman Tiffany, who were doing a press event about an hour ago about his stop here in Superior and Duluth. So we'll definitely have coverage from Republican lawmakers about his stop here. Looks like there is a small rally with some former President Trump banners in a parking lot besides Hardee's in Superior. That's according to our reporter Shalon Monroe, who is over on that side of the bridge. It's another view of the open door on Air Force One. Our reporter Miriam McCarr will be reporting from inside the Yellow Jacket Union about the speech today. She'll also be going live at 5 and 6 tonight to kind of give us a recap if you missed the speech, but we will be streaming that. Still waiting for the President and First Lady to step into the cool sunshine at the Duluth International Airport. They could have worse weather though, apparently according to Justin's and Brandon's and Sabrina's expectations for the weekend. So at least they have a clear day to arrive and see the Northland. I don't really know what they do when it lands. We're going to have to find that out from somebody who. Oh. So again, we are still waiting to see who is going to step off Air Force One first. Plane's been down now about half an hour. After he deplanes and gets in the motorcade, they will be stopping at the Blatnick Bridge. There he is, and there she is. They are stepping off the plane, holding hands, walking carefully down the steps. The President and First Lady of the United States are here. There they are. The motorcade. Oh, looks like they are getting to greet some people. They look happy to be here after a late night. There's Governor Walz, the Mayor Emily Larson. And there's the First Lady of Minnesota, Gwen Walz, I believe, giving the First Lady a hug. The President is speaking to local leaders. I believe that's Governor Evers. Yes, with the earmuffs. There he is, Governor Evers. I think Superior Mayor Jim Payne might be behind there. Senator Baldwin has arrived. She spoke yesterday about the infrastructure needs. There's Senator Klobuchar. So get greeted by friendly faces here at the airport. And decent weather. I'm glad they had a safe, smooth landing. A fairly quick trip to Superior and Duluth. Although Senator Smith as well. Everyone's doing their hugs and greetings. I'm sure we'll be getting into the motorcade shortly to head over down the hill towards the Blatnick Bridge, which they'll see and discuss, as that is something that needs to be replaced and a big part of our infrastructure in the Northland. And his focus, again, President Biden's speech, the UW Superior will be focused on infrastructure. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he discussed a few other things that are on top of mind. Ukraine, COVID, he may mention a few things, like he did at State of the Union. Looks like Senator Klobuchar and having a good conversation there. And she and the other lawmakers in the chambers last night for the State of the Union. I think it was Mayor Larson rubbing the back there. Superior Mayor Jim Payne standing there as well. Looks a little windy out. Don't see anyone rushing them yet, so just build in some time. See if someone opens one of those doors there. They look like they're pretty happy. Good day to be in the Northland. Again, the president has arrived. Looks like the governor standing there still. Having some one-on-one chats with different groups. Looks like everybody's getting ready to hit the road. They're going to come to Superior. And our Marion McCarr will be, she's there now, getting ready for the speech. We will be streaming it as well. Looks like he's getting into the motorcade. About half an hour after the Air Force One touched down. Secret Service standing by, ready for them to get going. And President Biden and the First Lady have arrived and are in the motorcade, are in the car, and getting ready to come over to Superior and speak at UWS. They're getting ready to go. Expect some roads to be blocked along the way. If you are in the area, be ready to wait a little bit since they close things off so everyone can get down there smoothly and safely. So President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden going to be spending some time in Superior today. Just a day after the State of the Union, amidst a pretty stressful time with the Russia invasion of Ukraine and a pandemic that's still ongoing, but seems to be in a better spot at this point. So the vehicles are getting ready to leave. Agents are moving out of the way, probably getting into the other vehicles. Everyone's starting to move. Again, they're going to be heading down the hill to see the Blatnick Bridge, which needs to be replaced, and a big part of why he thinks infrastructure is so important. And then a speech at UW Superior. Around an hour and a half from now, hour 45. Wheels are moving. There they go. All right, so he is on his way, he and the First Lady. Again, President Biden is expected to speak at UW Superior at 2:15 from the Yellow Jacket Union, but the event is not going to be open to the public, so you cannot show up and expect to see the president. But we will be streaming all of this live on WDIO and our digital platforms. We'll see you then.